DrYasapa from Zion Law School. All right, so today we're going to talk about. I don't have a place to sit my camera, so we're going to talk about. It's not a good view here. We're going to talk about the law of compensation. So, natural law you can also call cosmology, right? Cosmology. Okay, so I'm going to refer to the law of compensation. I'm going to categorize it as cosmology, okay? Cosmology is natural law, right? The laws that govern the universe, whatever term you want to use. But anyway, that's what I'm going to talk about today. For a little while I drink my coffee. I'm looking for a better place to sit in this coffee shop. I want to be in a more shaded area because it's more relaxed, but you see these construction workers are working over here. And I got my complimentary free tea, which it tastes pretty good. It's not the best I've had, but it's not bad, y'all. It's not bad at all. But it's just not the best. I think I'm going to sit over here. I think I'm going to sit inside today. They're smoking. Oh, they smoke cigarettes in here too. I want to be somewhere where they're not smoking cigarettes. So let me see. Is upstairs open? Can I have my coffee? I'm going to sit upstairs. Oh, thanks. So I was here the other day and I did a video. They have an upstairs. Last time, if y'all remember, I came here, they had a lot of dogs. By the way, do me a favor and like and share this video. And I can't stand cigarette smoke, y'all. People say I'm a very picky type of person, and I would have to agree, because if things are not the way I want them to be, I'm not hanging around, I'm leaving. All right? But anyway, excuse me, you see, I'm still not totally over the illness that I had in that food poisoning that turned into strep throat, upper respiratory infection. I'm still slightly congested. But anyway, y'all like and share the video. Let people know we're here. And I can guarantee you that you're going to learn something today. Most people will learn something, because what I'm going to talk about is not common knowledge. And it can really, really improve your life immediately. Immediately. In fact, if you have a problem, thank you so much. Thank you. If you have a problem, the best way to solve your own problem, or if you feel unhappy or sad, if you need something, here's my coffee. That's the black coffee here. I don't know how it tastes. Let me see. Sometimes, y'all notice the white foam here on top? They do something that they don't do in the U.S. When they grind the coffee from the bean. Next time I have them, I'll videotape it while they do it. And then they stir it up with this thing. They stir the ground coffee up with the water, and it creates this white foam on top. Okay? But I've only seen that done in Vietnam. I haven't seen it done in other countries. So let's see how this tastes. This one has a smooth taste. Actually, I kind of like it. Has a smooth taste. It has a real smooth taste and no aftertaste. Okay. So if we come in here at night, they'll have this place will be lit up with what looks like those white Christmas lights, but it's really beautiful the way they light this place up. That's a thing in Southeast Asia. You know, everything is nature, and then they put these pretty lights on it. But sometimes you go some places, it's just way too much stimulation. All right, so y'all subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. This is Zion Law School. What we do, first of all, is Ibaryath, right? We do Ibaryath. Ibaryath is the original language that the house of Yasharallah spoke and wrote. Okay, not biblical Hebrew, not rabbinical Hebrew, and then, of course, not modern Hebrew, not Aramaic, and all of that other stuff. Okay, it is a Canaanite Phoenician Ibaryath. All right, Ibaryath comes in 3 scripts, right? There are 3 scripts. If you don't know those scripts, go ahead and get the 911 Ibaryath Rescue book. Get the international edition. You can get that on Amazon, okay? That'll have all the scripts. That book has everything in it except for the cultural content, okay? To get all of the basics, the fundamentals, subscribe to the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. That's our streaming course, all right? But what we do first and foremost at Zion Law School is teach Ibaryath. Everything else that you get, like the astrotheology, the natural law stuff, anything else that we do is a result of the Ancient Ibaryath. Y'all understand me? That's how I figure stuff out. That's how I know stuff. That's how I wake up, or in my waking up process, I have things in my mind. Just how it got there, I don't know, but it's there. But the Ibaryath is our primary service, our primary focus and interest. Everything else comes from Ibaryath, all right? In other words, without the Ibaryath, I wouldn't be able to make sense of the other stuff and know, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, y'all, the law of compensation. For some of y'all, this is going to be a doozy for real, because a lot of y'all, a lot of us are some selfish, self-centered SOBs, right? A lot of us are selfish, self-centered SOBs, unwilling to cooperate, or only will cooperate to the extent that you feel like you need to get something immediate, and then once you get it, you bounce, or you stop cooperating, right? Or some other form of dysfunction. Okay? Not that I'm saying that we are bad people. I'm saying it's the culture. It's the culture, the engineered culture that produces toxic personalities, toxic values, toxic behaviors, and toxic ways of thinking and being. All right? This is the Negro, black, and colored mindset, which is Christianity. So law of compensation presents a big problem for so-called black people and Hebrew Israelites. Okay, now remember, if y'all know me, I equate being black to being Christian in terms of values, morals, personality, staunch individualism, hypocrisy. All right? Okay. You'll always hear the blacks talking about we need to unify. You'll always hear the black people, even in the Hebrew Israelite community and the conscious community, they'll be talking about we need to unify, right? But they are some of the most selfish, self-centered, unwilling to cooperate people that you could ever meet. All right? For example, the conscious community. Let's start with them. Try to get on one of their YouTube channels. Try it, okay? See how much cooperation you'll get, okay? Try to get on a Hebrew Israelite YouTube channel. See how much cooperation you get. If there's a movement to the return to the Most High, where is it? Why is everything about competing, right? Competing for assembly, church, and camp membership, making up false excuses, saying yes, 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 but when you really mean no, 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 but you say yes publicly, right? Because why? Issues of doctrine. You don't want people to stop following you to follow somebody else. But the problem with that is that whoever's going to follow you is going to follow you, and whoever's not won't. It just depends on where they are in their walk through life. In other words, their state of mind and experience in life, right? What they know. Nobody's going to leave you to go follow somebody else unless they no longer want to follow you. People follow you because they like you, right? That's why they like you, okay? They like you. And when it's time for them to move on, they move on. Because they grow. But try it. Try to get on one of these people's platforms and you'll see how cooperative and unified they are, moving and thinking as a nation. It's all BS. But you'll all hear them say we need to be in one accord. See, they BSing y'all. All right? They BSing y'all. Okay, and you gotta remember, YouTube is ripe with narcissists. YouTube is ripe with narcissists, okay? And there's many kind of narcissists. Many, many ways narcissism presents, all right? But anyway, now try doing this with some Christians, with some good Christians. You ain't gonna get nowhere. In terms of cooperating, getting a message out, you will get nowhere. You can't even get anywhere with the black people in business, in buying and selling. You can't get anywhere buying and selling. Why? Because the black culture is toxic. Whether you are offended by that or not, black culture is toxic. And it has been for a long, long time. Why? Why? Because those people in power engineered the culture to be toxic. Why? So that they can take your economics and finance. Why? Because the Negro cannot work together because of his mindset. Negro cannot cooperate with each other because of his mindset and because of his condition, all of which have been set, predetermined before birth, maintained, calibrated, so that you and your young ones will never be able to cooperate. You'll always have to go buy from the white man or from the Asians, okay? And you'll be happy doing it because a nigga ain't S-H-I-T. Y'all know that's what people used to say, and a lot of people still say it. A lot of people still say that. A nigga ain't S-H-I-T, right? And when you look at the most striking and powerful evidence is the conduct and relationship between so-called black men and black women, the Christians and the Muslims, and the people who go to church or mosque every 3-6 months when they feel guilty, right? So even in boyfriend, girlfriend, and family relationships, the blacks cannot get along. They cannot cooperate. Why? As I've already said, because that's the culture. That's what's promoted on TV, in your music, and in all media platforms. Y'all, and I say y'all for a reason, okay? If you're in black culture, listening to hip hop, doing everything that black people do, then you're under mind control. That's right, you are under mind control. You are toxic to your community and to yourself. Like it or not, that's your condition. Okay, if you're offended, it is what it is, my friend. That's what the evidence says. It is what it is. Now what you gonna do about it? Get mad at me, or examine yourself, examine your community, examine your situation, and see if there's any truth in what I'm saying. And if there's any truth in it, okay, so obviously you know what you need to do, right? Abandon black culture. Abandon what is toxic, right? So anyway, so I'm saying all this to say that the law of compensation will be very difficult for a lot of the blacks to comprehend, let alone implement, okay? Because it's the exact opposite of what of your mindset and your culture and everything that you see around it. It is the exact opposite, all right? You got to remember something too that I think is very profound. In the book, The Devil's Pulpit, the author, Robert Taylor, talks about the twisted, diabolical thinking and actions of the elite. So the elite would be what? The religious leaders, the educators, the politicians, the business people, right? People in control, the lawyers, the judges also. Now, what's their mindset? According to the author. Remember we did the reading of the chapter, The Unjust Judge? We did the debriefing maybe a week or two ago. I don't remember when. The unjust judge and the unrighteous steward, or something like that. But the point the author was making is that unjust judge, who's supposed to be the Christian deity, right? That old woman had to keep on begging and asking him to do something. And the deity wouldn't do anything until what? Until that old lady made him so uncomfortable that he said, you know what? This lady is going to worry me to death. Let me go ahead and give her what she wants. No trial was held. No trial was held. Y'all remember the story? And the deity gave her vengeance upon her adversary without there even being a trial. So what does this say about the morality and character of the deity, or that unrighteous judge, or that unjust judge? Right? He was a no good SOB. Because what if that old lady had a gripe with you? Okay? Maybe she cheated you and you busted her. You caught her. Okay, now she want to save face, right? She want to save face. And so she goes to the judge and she lies. She lies and says, you did this and you did that. And there's no trial. And now the judge goes after you and has you punished, right? And you didn't do anything. Okay, so there's no justice in that. So what is this telling us about the deity according to the author and according to the story? Well, the deity only cares about himself and his own comfort, and he ain't gonna do nothing unless he has to. And even when he does something, the deity is not concerned about justice at all. He's just concerned about the quality of his life and getting you out of the way so he can keep doing what he wants to do without being bothered. Y'all see what I'm saying? This is what the author brought forth. Now, the unrighteous steward was a crook and a thief who stole from his boss, right? He reduced the loans of his boss's debtors. He reduced their loans. Why? So that once he was out of a job, he could go back to them and ask for a favor. He was rewarded for being crafty, right? For being crafty, or what they call for being clever. Okay? Being clever. So in other words, if you can steal You can do whatever you need to do from somebody who you owe honesty to. Somebody who you owe honesty and loyalty to. You can steal from them whenever you feel like you need to, right? Now, or if you're planning for something, you can steal. As long as what? As long as you do it in a way that's clever. In a way that's going to get other people to give something to you in the future, right? You scratch my back, I scratch yours type of situation, even though you're stealing. And even though you're being disloyal and dishonest to someone who you owe loyalty and honesty to. You see the twisted reasoning, the twisted morality, the immorality. Y'all see it? The bad character that these illustrations promote in the Gospels. You see it? And you should pray all the time. Yeah, you should pray all the time. So while these people are abusing you and stealing from you, convicting you without even a trial, you need to just pray. Like an idiot, you just gonna pray to the external deity who they've already told you ain't gonna do nothing for you, right? You're gonna have to keep begging and begging and begging like a bum on your knees. And then hopefully you'll get on the deity's nerves so much and he'll stand up and do something for you. But y'all know how that goes. How many prayers out of 100 are answered? All right? Don't make excuses. Okay, Christianity wants you to say, well, the prayer wasn't answered because I did this, or I didn't do that, or there's always an excuse, an alibi. But you always need to do something more. So what do? Oh, you give a tithe. And you support the church, the rabbi, the Moreh, the Moshe, all these different teacher titles. You support every project that they do on top of the tithe. All right? That's what you do. You're trying to buy your way out of it, whether you realize it or not. All right? Whatever dirt you did, whatever you're trying to get, you've been taught, indoctrinated into believing that when you give your money, it's an expression of faith, and the deity will acknowledge and express your expression of faith, even though you don't have. The deity wants you to have faith, to believe. Okay, I hope this is breaking the God spell. I hope that this can let you see that you've been charmed. You're under a spell. I hope you'll see how ridiculous this sounds. Okay? So the deity wants you to have faith that when you give up whatever money you got, knowing you don't have enough to make it to the next payday, that expression of faith is going to motivate the deity to do something for you. All right? Even though you've been going out, doing this and doing that, all the stuff that y'all women do, all the sneaky stuff y'all do, all the conniving stuff y'all do in secret, and y'all had it real well, then you're going to go do what? You're going to pay it off with the tithe by being in church regularly, by giving to every fund in the church, even though you know they scheming and scamming and conniving, because you're trying to buy your way through it, consciously or unconsciously, right? But definitely the tithing doctrine suggests that. Okay, even though all you're really supposed to be given is part of what your harvest, right? All right, and you ain't got no more land, okay, because you're in the curses. So how is it that you're supposed to be tithing and you ain't got no inheritance? Think, people, think. Wake up, Dorothy. Wake up, Dorothy. Think. You've been kicked out of the promised land. You ain't got no inherited land. You ain't got nothing but what you are allowed to have. In most cases, is a job. So you are what? You got a job working for somebody, a corporation. You are what? You are a servant. That's right. You are a servant. You're in servitude, buddy. You are in punishment, in curses. Wake up, Dorothy. Wake up, Dorothy. I got that from one of the scholars we were talking about a week or two ago. Brandon, I got that from Brandon. So thanks, Brandon. So let's get back into it. Now the men, y'all not so smart, or we're not so smart, are we? When we go out, we do our dirt. We just do it and you're going to get busted. You're going to get found out, right? It's when a man is doing dirt, he's going to get found out unless he's what? Unless he's been raised by a woman and he watched his mama do dirt and his mama didn't hide it from him. So he may have learned some connivery skills, all right? But any woman who doesn't want to get caught, I can guarantee you she is not going to get caught, because women think and plan and plot, and they work together. They share information with each other, right? They will share information. Mama will tell her daughters on how to deal with a man, right? Okay, how to manipulate him, get what she wants out of him. This is generational curses, y'all. And then women will get together, friends, peers, right? And even multi-generation. Now, I've seen this done even in the Philippines. And they'll sit there, 5, 6, 7 women, and plot against one woman's husband or boyfriend on how she can get more money and more control. I've seen it done. So men, you don't stand a chance. But when men go out and do their dirt, whatever it might be, in the marriage, money, they're not thinking and they're not planning, and most of the time it's going to be done out of frustration, right? You're going to do it out of frustration. Okay? Some of y'all men act like women. Y'all might do it out of being vindictive and nasty and jealous or envious. That's a problem when you have men raised by women. Okay? So what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say with all of this? Whether you're a man or a woman, these curses are kicking you in your ass. And most of our people's response to it is to do something, some other behavior that violates natural law, that's just going to keep you in the cycle of getting kicked in your ass, right? That's how it is. Toxic culture. Toxic culture. Toxic behaviors, toxic morals, toxic values. All right? And the man, you will get caught. That woman will catch you. If you cheating with the money, you got some kind of financial scam going on, she will catch you. Or somebody else is going to catch you. If you're cheating with other women and you ain't supposed to, right? Let's say you have a Roman marriage and you're supposed to be faithful and loyal, only one woman and all of that. Oh, she going to catch you. She is going to catch you, buddy. It ain't even worth it. It ain't even worth it to do something like that, right? It is not worth it. But I guarantee you ain't going to catch her. You will not catch her unless her girlfriend tell, or unless one of your kids happen to see it, one of your babies happen to see it. They might tell if they're innocent enough not to know that, if mommy hasn't got to them, or some will tell anyway, right? But women will do something like this. A woman, if she's gonna cheat on you, she's gonna cheat on you in another city. You ain't gonna know nothing about it. She's gonna appear to be as innocent as a dove. Right? Cheating on you in a whole other city. You would never find a phone number in her purse or in her pocket the way she will in your phone, right? Or in your pocket. You're not. It just ain't gonna happen. Women are not careless, right? Women are not careless, and if she's gonna cheat with the money, you ain't gonna find out. You are not going to find out. Maybe you'll find out if you're having your stuff done by an accountant, right? Who's not in cahoots with your woman and who's competent. You might find out that way, right? But if you don't have somebody watching your back, that woman will take you. That's why a woman can make you or break you, right? A woman will make you or break you. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get back to the topic. All right. So men ain't gonna pay a tithe. Very rare that a man will pay a tithe, right? Very, very rare. Unless he's not experienced, okay, or he's overly trusting or naive, okay? The man is not going to pay a tithe. The man might hold his guilt in, because of Christian morals, and he know he's been doing wrong. And he holds his guilt and his shame in, and he gets high blood pressure, right? Or he gets other health problems, okay? Or he experiences multiple episodes of depression, or maybe even physical illness. But he ain't gonna give no tithe. And he definitely ain't going to the doctor. That's how we are as men, y'all. That's how we are as men. But that woman, she gonna give that tithe. You can believe that. She gonna give that extra donation, and she gonna forget about her dirt. Paid off, paid in full. That's right, and she looking for the blessing. That's the difference between a man and a woman. A woman will let that guilt go. Paid off. I've been tithing and I ain't gonna stop tithing. And you sitting there, why my woman so dedicated to this church? Now, I'm not saying everybody, y'all. And I'm having fun with this. Okay, some people are innocent. I'm just having fun with it, okay? You're sitting there thinking, why my woman so dedicated to this church, giving up all this money, right? Why is she so into this? Well, it might be because of what I'm saying. It might not be. But let me tell you, she ain't gonna be carrying no guilt. You can believe that, not like a man. Paid in full with that tithe. So let me tell you how to avoid all of that. Let me tell you how to avoid all. So we just talked about the problem. Now let's get into the cosmology of it. The cosmology is the law of compensation. All right, this law will give you your solution when you want something, when things are just not going your way, when you're hurting, when you're in pain, or when you're not hurting and you're in pain, things are going your way. This is still your solution to increase and maintain. Increase, get more, and maintain what you already have, regardless of whether things are going good in your life or bad. All right. It is also that big foot that's going to kick you in your ASS when you're down, or when you're up and things are going well, and then you start effing up. This is the same law that will kick you and bring you down. All right. This is a law of compensation. Now, here's something that I've been thinking about. Is the law of compensation and the golden rule the same law? The golden rule in Christianity is what? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So is the law of compensation the same as that? So what is the law of compensation? The law of compensation is this. When you do work, let's say you expend energy and effort. Okay, let's go back to nature. In the springtime, you prepare the soil, you remove the rocks, right? You plow the soil, you remove the rocks, you mineralize it, okay? You plant your seed, you build a fence around the land to keep the animals out. Okay, so they don't eat everything up. Okay? You water it, you build irrigation systems if you need to, but guess what, y'all? To build irrigation systems, you need to know what? You need to know some engineering. You need to know about groundwater, how groundwater flows. You need to know mathematics, right? You need to know architecture. You need to know building, the building trades. You need to know how to mix cement, right? How to build structures. See, this is all more science, right? All more science. So anyway, so you do all of that work. Or maybe your ancestors did that work for you, and all you need to do is maintain it, right? This is your inheritance, right? That would be your inheritance. All you need to do is maintain it for your little ones, and then they maintain it for their little ones, so on and so forth. That's your birthright, right? The irrigation systems and all of that, all those structures. Okay, so you put all of this work and investment in. You got to buy this, you got to buy that. You trade with your neighbor for this, you trade with them for that. All right, you do all of this. Okay? And then in fall, you expect a harvest, right? Well, that harvest is your compensation. Okay? So you look at one, let's say you plant one tomato seed. Just say one tomato seed, it grows. Okay? That tomato seed, let's say, has 30 tomatoes on it. Now, I'm not a farmer, so I don't know how many tomatoes a tomato plant will grow in a year. But let's say one tomato within itself, let's say one tomato has, let's say, 1,000 seeds. I don't know, 500 seeds, right? Now multiply that by the 30 tomatoes, okay? And then now you plant, let's say you plant another tomato seed, okay? Let's say you have 10. You see how your return is going to be exponential, right? Or actually geometrical, right? Okay, you're going to get a huge return off of that one. Huge return. Now, will some of them rot? Yes. But those seeds and the minerals go back into the ground, and then they're going to be reabsorbed. And then all the plants are going to get what? They're going to get to use those minerals that are being reabsorbed, and the water, right? So all of that stuff is going to be recycled back into the healthy plants. Okay? So your harvest is your compensation. Now, you get the harvest. Let's say you give some of it away, you barter with some, and let's say you sell some. So that's additional compensation for all of your hard work, right? This is the law of compensation. Okay? What's another way we can express the law of compensation? Think about it. Think about it. Now remember, I mentioned get what you want by helping others get what they want. And I practiced that in my life, and I practiced that for many, many years. I get what I want by helping other people get what they want. So how can you do it? What's the easiest way you can do that? Okay, well, first, care enough about people to know what they want. Care enough about a specific person to know what it is that they want, right? To know what it is that they want. Okay? Simple enough, easy, right? You can look at somebody and see that they have a need. Especially if it's somebody you know. You know their life, you know their story. You know what they need. And it might be something easy, even if it's just money. It might be something easy for you to give them what they need. Maybe they need $50. Maybe they need $1,000. Maybe they need $1. And you got it. And you got it. Right? And you got it. Are you going to give it to them? Or are you going to have the Negro mindset, I got mine, you get yours? Okay, so the law of compensation is this. The law of compensation is this. Whatever you do for somebody will come back to you geometrically. Okay? And whatever you don't do for somebody, well, you ain't gonna get nothing back in return. Okay, now, this guy Lex Will, I don't know if y'all know Lex Will. But Lex Will and I were talking a couple years ago. You know, Lex can be a funny guy. He has quite the personality, right? So Lex, we're talking on the phone. Hello. Yeah, we're talking on the phone, and we're talking about a topic similar like this. So Lex says to me, he says, I remember. We were talking something about teaching, and then maybe this was things going on in the Hebrew Israelite community. This was 2-3 years ago. So he says, so you help the woman, and if you try to get with the woman after you help her, well, there's no more law of compensation for you because you blew it, right? You blew it. You used it for something selfish. You did that, and then you tried to get with the woman, whether you succeeded or not. So y'all see what I'm saying? Law of compensation is to do something for somebody and then not take anything from them in return. Y'all see it? Now you deserve to be compensated. Okay? But if your motive is to get with that, let's say you help a woman, right? If your motive is to get with her and you do that, well, then there's no law of compensation for you. So if you've been doing that, you say, oh, I help people, but why isn't anyone helping me? Well, it might be because you don't deserve it. Because you took something from them, or you manipulated them, right? You manipulated them. You gave them something, but your true motive was, let's say, to get in bed with them. So if that was a funny conversation Lex and I had, that was a funny, I haven't spoken to that brother. I can't remember the last time I spoke to Lex. I ought to give him a call. He's a funny guy to talk to. Yeah, we had that conversation, but he was right on the money. Right? Lex was right on the money. You can't do stuff like that. So that's why when you run into these people who call themselves teachers and they're trying to get something from you, especially a woman, right? They're trying to razzle dazzle you with the scriptures, and then trying to, do what men do. That's a sad situation. And there's no compensation for you. You already been compensated, right? So you gave up something that could have been geometrical and material for, for whatever it was that you got out of that situation. You know what I mean? All right. So that's that's an example. So what I'm trying to say to you is that if you have extra, be it extra money, extra time, extra energy, if you have expertise, or if you have a listening ear, why not consider helping somebody else? Give it to them. Be a listening ear if that's what somebody else's needs, right? Listen, and then don't go back and humiliate them by telling what y'all talked about. All right? Because then there's no law of compensation for you. And you hurt yourself more than you hurt them. Right? Because the law of compensation means that when you do somebody dirty like that, okay, so you're going to get done dirty. All right? And it's going to be much more to it. All right? It's going to be worse for you. All right? You're going to be done dirty, or you're going to experience bad health, bad relationships. Right? This is the inescapable, the immutable law of compensation. Right? So whatever you do that's in excess of what you're supposed to do. For example, you're on the job, right? You're on your job, and you have a project or an assignment, right? You complete the project, but you don't do just what you were supposed to do. You do above and beyond, okay? And if there's no opportunity for you to do above and beyond, how do you activate the law of compensation in that situation? Well, you activate the law of compensation by, once you finish that project, offering to help on another project, on somebody else's project. Nobody has to tell you to do it. Offer it or just start doing it, right? So now you are doing in excess of what you're being paid to do. Not only is this going to activate the law of compensation powerfully on your behalf, but it's going to do what? It's going to create a reputation. You're going to develop the reputation of not just being a hard worker and a team player and somebody who cooperates, somebody who is a company person, somebody who's goal-oriented. Y'all see what I'm saying? You're going to put yourself in the way of getting what? Promotions and more money. And it may not be through your present employer, but trust me, that reputation that you build will follow you. And if your present employer doesn't pay you more, what are you going to do? Start your own thing or find another employer. This is the law of compensation, right? For example, another example of the law of compensation is when you have babies and you raise the babies properly. You provide for them. You love them. You're kind to them. You're compassionate to them. Okay? You make them your priority. You make sure that they feel loved and cared for. You make sure that it's okay to make a mistake. Okay? You treat them the way you wish you would have been treated as a child. And then when that baby grows up, that baby will see you as being what? Not just mommy and daddy, but what? As being the power in their life. And they will be loyal to you and faithful to you and take care of you. And do it without grudge. And do it willingly. And be happy that they could do it. This is the law of compensation. Right? When you get older. When you might need somebody to help you. And if you don't need anybody monetarily to help you, you may need somebody to talk to. Okay? You may need somebody to talk to. If you don't need somebody to help you physically, you just may need someone to talk to, go places with when you get older. Right? But if you didn't treat your children well, this is a problem with a lot of women. You know, a lot of men grow up to resent their mothers, resent their fathers because they were treated badly. They were disrespected and bullied by their parents. Intimidated, beaten. Y'all know how it goes. There is no excuse for talking down to people, for verbally and physically abusing people. There's no excuse for that, right? But those are generational curses, generational punishments. Okay? And then those little ones are going to grow up to resent you and hate you, and they ain't going to want to have nothing to do with you, or whatever they do for you, they're going to do it begrudgingly. And then you find yourself in a nursing home. This is the law of compensation. This is the law of compensation. And when you get in the nursing home, guess what? Now you get to feel how that child felt when you neglected them and when you abused them. Because the people in the nursing home, they don't care about you. You think they're not going to neglect you when they get an opportunity to neglect you? Huh? Bed sores, infections, loneliness, people doing things for you only because it's their job. You feel alone. Maybe you even feel lost. But the little ones who you raised, you blew it. And now you're being compensated. You're feeling the pain that they felt and more. And that's the way you're going to go out. So that's another expression of the law of compensation. Y'all with me? All right. So with the law of compensation, if you have a problem, the best way to solve your problem is to go help somebody else. One, it activates the law of compensation, which is immutable. You're going to be paid geometrically more than anything that you invest, and it doesn't have to be money. Go help somebody else. You got a friend who they need somebody to talk to. So go ahead, listen to them. Right? Listen to them. Somebody you know doesn't get out of the house. Go pick them up and take them somewhere. Somebody who doesn't have a father or a mother, and you can be that for them. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. It activates the law of compensation, right? Not only does it do that, but it does what? It's good for the community. It's good for the nation, right? You help the nation. And you help yourself. When you're helping someone else, it's going to take your mind off of your own problems. It's a powerful distraction. It's a powerful distraction. And then you begin to feel good as you see the happiness in the other person that you're helping. When you see that their problem is being resolved as a result of what you're doing for them. So now you've been distracted from thinking about what you want, which means you're not worried. You're not thinking about your own problems. You're not worried. So now you have peace. You're in the moment. You're in the now. Life is exciting, is peaceful when you're in the now. When you're thinking about the past, All the bad things that were done to you, that causes worry, distress, anger. When you think about the future, what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, if it's going to happen, that causes depression, worry, discontentment, sleepless nights. Y'all see what I'm saying? If you're projecting into the future or going back into the past, stress, depression, stay in the glorious now. There's only now. Do what you can do right now. Forget about the past. Don't think about tomorrow. Do what you can do now, in the moment, And I guarantee you, as long as what you're doing, as long as you keep your mind and your actions focused on what you can do now, you'll feel peace. You'll feel contentment. You'll feel contentment. And you'll feel joy. You'll feel joy and happiness. Guaranteed. All right, y'all? This is the benefit. Black Cafe, one more. All right. This is a powerful benefit of helping other people. Okay? It puts you in the now, in the moment. That's all there is. Reality is now. Reality is now. What you experience with your eyes, ears, nose, your mouth, your sense of touch, this is reality. It's now. There is no tomorrow and there is no yesterday. There is only the glorious now. All right? So make a decision and then take action to help somebody. It's going to relieve your stress, in addition to powerfully activating the law of compensation. Okay? And do it without regard to what you can get from that person. Okay? Do it without regard to what you can get from that person. Okay? If you do that, you're going to destroy it. Think about what you can get by helping that person and what you can do for that person. But don't do it to get something, all right? Because the law of compensation won't work for you because you've already been compensated, right? Okay. Now let's say someone has a business. Thank you very much. Let's say someone has a business, okay? Can I have also another tea? Wait. Let me pay you. Let's say someone has a business. All right. Let's say someone has a business, okay? Every business needs customers. Let's say you got extra money. You know that the business needs customers. Let's say the business is young, right? The business is not stable. Why not buy their product? Buy their service. Why? Why? Because you want to activate the law of compensation. You're helping them keep their business afloat by buying their products. Or you can give them a donation. You can give them a financial donation. Right? You can do whatever you want. Thanks. To support their business. Right? So that will activate the law of compensation because, see, you didn't have to do it. Y'all see how it's white right here? That white foam, that was what I was talking about earlier. See, but most of the black people are still under the spell where they don't want to help somebody. Or they're jealous, right? They're under the spell. Envy, jealous. Oh, they make some excuse, some alibi not to buy their product, not to make a donation, even though that person may have been providing them excellent service. giving them or teaching them more than what they paid for, or doing it for free. Maybe they never paid for anything at all. And so in their mind, they don't value the information, the product, or the service because it was given to them for free. This is a big problem amongst the blacks, right? Amongst the blacks. Okay, and I'm purposely saying the blacks. The reason why I'm purposely saying the blacks is because the blacks are living according to Christian values, the Judeo-Christian values, and the Negro, black, and colored mindset that they got through their enculturation. Okay? These are black people. These are the black people, the black culture, right? Now, some of y'all might feel insulted by what I'm saying, okay? And that's okay. That's quite all right with me if you feel insulted. But hopefully you can use the information that we're sharing today to break the God spell. To break the God spell, okay? The black culture is a spell. The music is an incantation. The music is an incantation. Listen to it. It's antisocial in its lyrics. It exploits children, even sexually. It exploits the relationship between a man and a woman, and even what a man and a woman is, or what a man is and what a woman is. Y'all see it? Regardless of what type of excuse or alibi or rationale that you might make to justify it, it's still an incantation, a spell and a charm that's used to control you, to control your thoughts and your behavior and your action, to keep you in violation of natural law and in the curses. Excuse me. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. So there's enough opportunities to activate the law of compensation. That's the point I'm trying to make. There are an abundance of opportunities for you to activate, implement the law of compensation. Why? Because the black community is so toxic. Right? So you can do a whole lot. You can help people. Okay, you can help people. You can really, even if it's something like subscribing to YouTube channel videos that you are listening to on the regular. The content is benefiting you. Right? The content, but you, for whatever reason, you won't even like the video. You won't even subscribe. So you're taking the content and you're not giving anything back. What is that doing? That's activating the law of compensation against you. Against you. Right? Because you're getting something and not giving anything in return. Right? or even making a toxic situation or causing problems for the person who you're getting the content from. So let's go back to the example with the farm. Let's say you plant your seed, you did all of this stuff, and then you have the nerve to go and spray pesticide. You got the nerve to go and spray pesticide in the soil and on the plants. All right? Now, what did you just do when you sprayed that pesticide? Now you're activating the law of compensation against you. Why? Because pesticides generally can be cancerous. That's one, to either man or the humans. There's a difference between man and human. Okay, Zion Law School scholars know this. If you don't know it, go back and go through our videos. All right, you'll see a video with a Neanderthal on a cross, and you'll also see a video with a baby monkey and a baby orangutan. Go back and watch those. Okay, there's a difference between man, Genesis chapter 2, and humans. They are not the same. So it can cause cancer to man and human and other animals, right? What else? It kills the insects. And maybe it's even toxic to birds. It kills the insects who have a right, the insects have a right to live, right? Because the Most High put them here. And their job is to feed on plants, right? That's what they do. So now you've just made it so that the insects have been killed, or they're not able to, let's say they live, or they're not able to eat the food. Y'all see what I'm saying? And then the microorganisms in the soil. Let's say the pesticides kill the microorganisms or alter them in such a... So now you're doing damage, you're harming, you're doing harm, right? The insects, the microorganisms, they have a right to be here, and they have a right to eat and to live their lives, and you just took that away from them. Law of compensation will be activated against you. You can believe that. All right? You can believe that. So in human relations, when you activate the law of compensation, don't go and do something toxic that's going to turn the law of compensation into a punishment for you. For example, breaking a trust, acting dishonorably, lying, not doing what you said you would do. All right? Making a person wait. Instead of doing what you said you would do right away, you make them wait. Or any other type of toxic behavior. This will activate the law of compensation against you. Now, do you see why the black people are in such a terrible situation? A lot of it is self-inflicted. Okay? But you would expect that, right? Because Genesis chapter 1 talks about what? The created creature, the human, dominating, exercising superiority over man and woman. And this would be primarily through psychological or psychic attacks. Of course, in addition to violence, right? White supremacy, if there is such a thing. Well, we know that there's no, but y'all understand. Correlated with Genesis chapter 1. So through your toxic culture, you black people, you're carrying around the dynamite that's blowing up your life. That's right. You're a participant in your own destruction because you refuse to learn natural law. You absolutely refuse it. And you probably, a lot of y'all probably getting mad because I'm talking about it. Who him think him is? But I'm telling you the truth. This is why no matter how many prayers you put up, no matter how many tithes you give, your situation has not changed. And you wonder why. Some of y'all give up. The men just give up. They stop praying. They stop going to church because they see it's a hustle. Right? But the women, no. The women gonna buy their way out and feel good about it. No more stress. But there is no escaping the law of compensation. So stop giving tithes. Break the God spell. If you want a better situation, you don't have to give a tithe. Activate the law of compensation by helping somebody who you know needs something or wants something. And do it out of the kindness of your heart. And do it consistently. Persistently, consistently, persistently. To the best of your ability, with as much sincerity and honor as you possibly can. And do it with the smile. Do it with the smile, and do it like you're doing it for the most important person in the world. And I assure you that the law of compensation will return to you what you want, in whatever form that might take. It might just be at the absolute time that you need it. And it will be geometrically more than what you gave. All right? And do it as a habit, as a way of life. That way, the law of compensation will follow you throughout your life, even when you do wrong. You got enough in your account. You have enough in your account to pay any negative compensation that may go your way or may come at you. You have so much of an abundance. You have such a big bank account of positive energy in the law of compensation working for you, that when you make a mistake or you do something wrong, you got it covered. It ain't gonna hurt so much, or you may not even feel it, right? This is cosmology. This is natural law. All right, so we've been going at it for about an hour and 12 minutes. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Thanks for spending your time with me. I enjoyed this topic. I hope that you got something from it. If you felt offended by it, I offer you no apology, but I tell you that there's a reason why you got offended for it. When you point one finger at somebody else, there's three pointing back at you. Okay? There's three pointing back at you. All right. So thank you to everybody who has supported our streaming 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. If you haven't subscribed already, the link is in the description area of this video. It's 101 Ancient Ibaryath. This is going to give you the fundamentals of etymology and grammar and the history, the artifacts, etc., that are associated with the language that our ancient ancestors spoke, and that the Hebrew scriptures, specifically the law, y'all, or the instructions, was written in. Okay? It's critically important that you understand these concepts and that you become very familiar with them. Also, thanks everybody who has subscribed, who were sitting on the fence and you finally subscribed. Thanks everybody for liking the video, putting comments in. Much appreciated. It helps. Y'all know YouTube is shadow banning this channel. Thanks everybody who has shared the video, people who've made a commitment in themselves to help put our message out by sharing these videos, talking about the content, telling people, hey, you know what, you got to check out Dr. Yasapa, you got to check out Zion Law School, right? Or, you know, the 506 The Curses course, the live online class that we teach every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those of you who are coming and observing us, special thanks to you guys. Those classes, normally you get 2 free classes, so you can experience it, right? So you can experience what we do. Who else do I need to thank? I think I've done all my thank yous. Oh, I give you an example of the law of compensation. So yesterday, I walk into a coffee shop, beautiful coffee shop. I could tell that the design of the coffee shop was done by someone who really cared about their customers' experience. When you walk in, because it was so different from other coffee shops, it was very beautiful, very, very beautiful. So I said, wow, I was impressed because I hadn't seen a coffee shop like that before. So I knew someone had designed that. Okay, someone, it meant something to somebody. That's what I'm trying to say. They gave it special care and attention, and they made it different. But anyway, so I started talking with somebody behind the counter, and there was only like maybe 5 or 6 people there, but it was a big coffee shop. And I said, you know what? I'm available 5 days a week. And I go out, you know, my thing is to go walking, exercising. That's my thing, right? Go buy fruit, vegetables. That's what I enjoy doing. So I said to myself, you know what? Because English is such a big thing here, and it's easy for me. It doesn't take me any effort at all to teach English, right? Because I'm just talking. And I said, you know what? I'm going to offer this coffee shop my services, maybe once or twice a week for an hour or two, to come in and just give them free English lessons. Because listen, y'all, when you go to foreign countries that don't speak English, the value of learning English is tremendous, especially in a place like Vietnam. They look at it as an investment for their children. Yeah, they look at it as an investment for their children and for themselves. And they pay for it. They pay for it. From K through 12, they'll pay. Right? And they pay good money. Because English is a language of science, it's a language of business. It's a language of, it is the international language, right? So they don't have a problem with writing and grammar because they learn that in school. Their problem is with speaking. So I say, you know what? I can do some good. The place is maybe 10 minutes walking from where I'm staying. I said, well, I'll go ahead and offer because I can help a lot of people. I'll help myself by helping them. And then we'll see what happens. So I offered them, right? And they said, okay, well, we can do it. And I'll update y'all on what happens, okay? So they said most of their customers are students. And so I said, okay, that's pretty cool, because when I was a student, I hung out in coffee shops. I was 24/7, right? Studying at the coffee shop. All my friends would go to the because we were all either studying, or some of them were already professionals working in their career, but they would come to the coffee shop to do whatever type of paperwork or reading that they were interested in. You know, the coffee, it was just a place to be, right? For students and those people who were in the coffee culture, professional people. Those were the ones I knew. And so I said, okay, cool. That's pretty cool. I can relate. So imagine the good. the benefit that will be done for these young people, many of which whose families probably can't even afford to send them to, let's say, a English school, so they can get it for free. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it for 3 months. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, right? We'll see how it goes. But as long as I got time and energy to do it, why not? Otherwise, I'll be sitting at home by myself, only doing my work, right? And sometimes that can be very frustrating and tedious to sit at home and work all day, because you kind of lose. You kind of lose you kind of lose yourself in your work. You forget about you and your life. At least that's been my experience. Everything becomes the work that you're doing. So it'll give me a chance to get out and to do something different. And so that's an example, y'all. So I'm not being a hypocrite by telling you to do something that I wouldn't do, or even that I'm not doing. Okay? But there's a lot of stuff that I do every day, consistently, frequently, consistently, persistently, right? Even when it's uncomfortable. Because I always want to be putting credits into my positive law of compensation account. All right? Islam to all the Moors. Shalawama to the entire house of Yasharallah. The links to our Streaming 101 class is in the description area of this video. The link to the 506, the Curses course, which is our live online class every Saturday, 10 a.m. That's in the description area of this video. And I have 7 links of books that I've written and published in the description area of this video. Also, if you want to support me, DrYasapa, or Zion Law School, the Cash App is in the description area of the video. Our PayPal is in the description area of the video. Cash App is $DrYasapa, 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 and PayPal is paypal.me/Zion Law School. The links are in the description area of the video. The link to the Devil's Pulpit, the link to the free PDF of the Devil's Pulpit is also in the description area of this video. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your time. I want to remind y'all, go back and talk to your reverends, your pastors, mores, morches, generals, captains, officers, whatever their titles might be. Go back and talk to them about astrotheology. Go back and talk to them about natural law, and ask them for an explanation based not in doctrine, but based in evidence and fact. And let's see how they respond to you, okay? Shalawama and Islam.